Hey, this is Danny from Scare Talk. Before we get into all the horror greatness, I gotta let you know about Anchor. Anchor is the host site that we use to record our podcast. Anchor will upload your podcast to Apple and Spotify and many other listening platforms. Anchor is completely free, and you can download the app or go to the website, anchor.fm, and you can record straight on there. There's also some cool editing tools that you can use. Did I mention that it's free? Yeah, so if you want to make a podcast, Anchor is the way to go. Go check it out. Now, for the spooky stuff.
Welcome to Scare Talk, a horror movie podcast for horror fans. This podcast will cover horror movie reviews, ratings, and rankings. Now for your hosts, Danny and Joel.
Oh yeah, this is Scare Talk. I am Danny, and I'm here with Judge Joel.
Hey guys, what's up? Judge Joel.
Yes, the judge is here.
Yes, he is.
All right, so we are going to take a little break from Saw, and we're going to talk about Dawn of the Dead. Yeah, from 2004.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So this is not the original. This is the remake or
This is
reimagined.
That's just a remake. The
Is it a
original
remake?
was also in a mall. Yeah.
Oh, was it? Okay. I have to watch
Yeah.
the original. I don't think I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Which
It's been on a while. But
yeah, it's probably one I should watch if I'm a horror fan. Probably one I should watch.
Not a big zombie fan though. So.
I'm not a huge zombie fan. No.
Yeah.
So we'll see how this one does for me. So Joel, who was in this?
All right. So this one stars Sarah Polley. She plays Anna. She was in Splice, The Weight of Water. Splice. Yeah, I actually kind of enjoyed that one. It's definitely
it's a weird one.
A different one. Yeah. And Go. I think that was like 1999.
Yeah.
Also, Ving Rhames. He's in Mission Impossibles 1 through 8. He's in all of them.
Yeah.
The People Under the Stairs. Piranha 3D. And then, Pulp Fiction and Con Air. He's definitely the biggest actor in this movie.
Oh yeah. He's been around the block.
He has been. And
he
Jake
plays the
Weber.
same character literally every movie.
He does, but it's still fun. It's still fun seeing him on the screen. But yeah. He pretty much does.
Yeah.
Also, Jake Weber. He plays Michael, the other main character in this movie. He was in The Cell, Meet Joe Black, Amistad, and most recently he's going to be in Those Who Wish Me Dead, which is an Angelina Jolie thriller.
Oh, I heard about that.
I saw the preview. It looks good. It looks pretty intense.
Nice.
It's going to be in theaters and HBO Max next month. So
okay.
In
cool.
May. So yeah. So I'm definitely going to watch that one.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen her in a movie in a while.
Yeah. No, not really. I don't even remember the last thing I saw her in.
Yeah.
This was written by James Gunn. He is also a well-known director at this point, as well. He wrote Scooby-Doo 1 and 2. Slither, which I love that movie. It's so good. He was married to Pam from The Office when he did this movie.
Oh, okay.
And she's in this movie, so it's. He also wrote Super. I love that. That's a good one too.
Yeah.
Like R-rated, like superhero type movie.
Yeah.
Kind of superhero. The Suicide Squad, most recently, and something that's kind of caught me off guard a little bit, which is in I think pre-production right now. But Wile E. Coyote.
What? Okay.
He's doing the screenplay for Wile E. Coyote.
All right. Weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this was directed by Zack Snyder. This was his feature debut, like actual movie feature debut. Before this, he did do a couple of music videos.
Okay.
But as far as movies, this was his first one. He also directed 300, Watchmen, and Army of the Dead, which is coming out in May as well, which we will be covering.
Yeah.
Kind of the reason why we're covering this one right now.
Yeah. No, yeah.
For preparation for that one.
Right.
So this one actually includes two people that were that were like trending most recently.
Oh,
James
okay.
Gunn and Zack Snyder.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for they're both involved in. Were they both in? At least James Gunn was involved in the Marvel world until he got fired, and then jumped to the DC world, and then Marvel wanted him back, so he went there, and then Zack Snyder's got his own thing with DC going on as well.
Yeah.
So it was kind of cool seeing both of them
Yeah.
involved, because they're both very well known right now.
At this point, yeah.
At this point, yeah. I think James Gunn had done some movies before writing this one.
Okay.
But he wasn't like popular yet.
Right.
With and so yeah, I like that they're both involved in this movie.
Yeah.
It kind of so
is James Gunn the Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah, he's the director of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Movies.
Cool.
And yeah. So yeah, and he's got that Marvel money and that DC money going right now, so so he's doing pretty good for himself. But yeah. So
okay, this one is about a nurse, a policeman, a young married couple, and a salesman, and other survivors of a worldwide plague, producing aggressive the worldwide plague that produced aggressive flesh-eating zombies. These guys take refuge in a mega Midwestern shopping mall. That is it. That was hard to read.
the tongue twister.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a zombie movie. That's what it is, and in my opinion, one of the better ones.
Yes,
it might be my favorite.
Yeah, I'm not like I'm not the biggest zombie fan. I do like these zombies. I like the running zombies.
Yeah.
Which that was different from the original Dawn of the Dead.
Okay.
Dawn of the Dead still had the slow walking zombies.
Yeah.
And I heard that this one was pretty controversial because of that.
Right.
Because this was the first time, I know there was 28 days, 20 days later, that had like the fast moving, but they were injected with rage. That was something different. It wasn't technically zombies.
Right.
Like they don't ever actually say that they're zombies in that movie.
Yeah.
This one, they're full on zombies and they're fast moving. So I like that Zack Snyder, took something that was already a thing and sort of changed it up a little bit. Kind of made it scarier, in my opinion. Yeah. Because it's easy to run away from slow moving zombies. It's not as easy to run away from fast moving zombies. Mm-hmm. Ones that, without lung capacity can run forever.
Right, yeah.
And so I do like that they're fast moving, but it was controversial amongst a lot of original Dawn of the Dead fans.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because that's not their zombie.
Right.
It's like
hashtag not my zombie.
Yeah, exactly. And to me, it's better. It's better that they're fast moving. It makes the scenes that they're in scarier.
Yeah.
And just better in general. And Zack Snyder's gonna be doing something different with his next zombie movie too, which I'm excited to see.
Yeah.
So he likes taking properties. I think it's Army of the Dead's an original story, but the idea of zombies is not.
Right.
So he likes taking his own liberties with some of these already existing properties.
Yeah.
Which I am all for. Because it just adds more to the story to me.
Yeah.
And as little of a story as this movie had, I still enjoyed it. Like, as far as remakes go, it is one of my favorite just remakes in general.
Okay.
There's been a few that I've really enjoyed, but this one's definitely one of my probably top 5 favorite remakes. It has some likable characters. Not everybody is likable, which I guess is realistic. But I mean, when you're in the zombie apocalypse, granted it's the beginning stages of the zombie apocalypse. This is a brand new thing for these people. You would think teamwork would be the most important thing at this point. Like staying alive, making sure your group stays alive. Because if your group doesn't stay alive, you basically don't stay alive.
Yeah.
So you all have to like basically work together. And there were a couple of characters that had that mindset, but there were definitely at least half the other characters had the mindset of every man for himself kind of thing.
Right.
And I'm having a tangent right now because that's kind of a negative for me too. So, I like the acting in this movie.
Okay.
Also Mekhi Phifer is in this one too. I'll get to his character in a little bit here. But the main 3 that I mentioned were definitely the best, in my opinion, the best characters in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I love the opening scene.
Yes.
It starts off with a bang. Like 5 minutes into this movie, and we're already getting bit by zombies. Yeah. It's like, okay, that's crazy. This is like a nearly 2-hour movie, and 5 minutes into it, we're already, the action's already started. And I love that. It's the pacing is done really well in this movie.
Right.
For the most part, it kind of slows down a little bit in the middle, but in the beginning and then at the end, the pacing is just it's basically nonstop.
Yeah.
And I love that for a 2-hour zombie movie. And yeah, the characters, at least half of them, I like. And then the pacing. There is a line that is one of my favorite, probably horror lines of all time that's in this movie. And they're watching TV, and like there's a preacher talking on the TV, and one of the lines that he says is, "When there's no more room in hell, the dead shall walk the earth."
Yeah.
I was like, that's a cool line, especially when you don't know anything about what's going on in the world.
Right. Yeah, that's
like,
scary.
Yeah. It's a terrifying thing, and we never learn about what's going on in the world, and I like that too.
Yeah.
Like it's a very closed up story. Closed up is the wrong word, but it's a very like you're just following this small group of people.
Right.
In this entire movie.
Yeah.
And for all we know, it could have started in this town because somebody had to have gotten bit first.
Right.
And that's the thing with zombie movies. Like it has to start somewhere, but I feel like once it starts, like the whole world's infected kind of thing. Yeah,
like really fast.
Instead of because it was already like on the national news. Yeah. Like, and she's a nurse in the beginning of the movie, and there's a patient that is rushed to ICU, and she's like, "What? Why? He was just bit." And it's like, it feels like it started right there,
right?
But then within like a day, it's national news, like it's everywhere.
It's like COVID.
So it's like, it's like, did this start with one, or was this a virus that spread? That was already like it has to be a virus, obviously. But did it start with one and then grow from there, or were there people infected throughout
Right.
the at least the country?
Right.
Because for it to already be national news, for it to have reached everywhere in like a day or two, is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And it's like this had to have started at some point. And I kind of hope, I doubt it will be, but I kind of hope Army of the Dead is kind of like a sequel or prequel to this.
Right.
Because I do want to know more about this world. I know that Dawn of the Dead's like the third movie in like the Romero series.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a while since I've seen that movie. So I don't remember because I feel like if it's the third movie, then, we are already pretty deep into the apocalypse at this point.
Right.
But with this movie, we've just started. So, this is a remake, but at the same time, there's quite a bit that's probably different in this one than there is in the original, for sure. Because if this one feels like a first, like this is the first of a series of movies.
Yeah.
Which would be awesome if Zack Snyder continued that world, but we'll see. And I thoroughly enjoyed this movie quite a bit, and I love the ending to it too. You were saying that you don't know which version you watched, if it was a director's cut or the theatrical.
Yeah.
On yours. Okay, so I'm not entirely sure. I know that I looked it up. The director's cut's like 9 minutes longer than theatrical, but I don't know like what scenes are in it and which scenes were added. So did your version end with like basically everybody dying?
No.
How did yours end?
Mine ended with they get on the boat and the one guy, the salesman from Best Buy, he says he can't go with them. He needs to stay back because he was bit. And they're kind of leaving on the boat, and he puts his gun to his head and kills himself.
Yeah.
And that's how it ends for me.
Ends? Yeah. Completely ends right there?
It just,
Okay. Because there's a little bit more added to that.
Okay. And the director's cut.
There's a whole added scene where they're on the boat and they find a video camera, and they're like watching it, and it's like cutting in and out, and they start recording themselves, and they get to this island, and they find out that that they still have the dog at this point. And they let the dog loose, and he runs off, and then starts like barking and stuff, and all of a sudden a huge group of zombies come out as they're like recording, and they're like running away from him, but it doesn't show them die, but you kind of assume that they didn't make it. After that, and they've got the Disturbed Down with the Sickness playing throughout like that little scene and everything.
Like the actual song, or like the jazz version?
The actual song.
Oh, okay. Because the jazzy version was in the movie too.
Yeah, it was.
Which was funny.
Yeah. Never heard that version before this movie. Kind of liked it a little bit. But yeah, I mean, you
that's cool.
Basically missed like everybody get killed.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to have to look that up.
All the survivors.
That sounds cool, especially with that song playing.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I did like the end though. The end that I got, I really liked that. It was a really dark ending, but I really liked it. So either way, I liked it.
Yeah, the ending. Yeah, if it cut off right there, it's still a good ending. As well. So it is dark, but it gets darker in the director's cut.
Yeah, I guess so.
But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie quite a bit. It's a lot of fun. I watch it probably a couple of times a year.
Okay.
And a couple of times every other year or so. But yeah, it's a lot of fun to me, and definitely if not my favorite zombie movie, it's at least like top 3. I don't even remember. I mean, I like Zombieland, but that's also like a comedy as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so as far as full on zombie movie, yeah, that was probably be my favorite of them all.
Okay.
So.
Okay, so for me, I love the beginning. Before the title even comes up or the credits or anything, that whole segment where she, it's just like, seems like an everyday kind of life for a nurse. And, she finds out that this bite patient is in the ICU, which is kind of weird. And she goes home to her husband and, they're all just lovey-dovey. And then their daughter, I'm assuming that's their daughter.
It's the neighbor.
Oh, is it the neighbor? Okay.
Yeah.
Is like standing in the hall.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. She does talk to her on her rollerblades. That's right.
Yeah. Tell your
right.
mom I say hi or something.
Yeah. So like they go to sleep and then wake up and they see her in the hall and she just comes and attacks them. The action sequences are so good. So good in this. The camera work, the gore, the
when
violence.
She looks around at the neighborhood and like everyone's like panicking and running around.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
The way that the environment looks is just really good in this movie.
Yeah.
And then even the one-on-one like fight scenes with the zombies and stuff, that looks cool too. The blood, the quick camera motions, I think the fight scenes and the violence and all that is great in this movie. And it also at the same time, and I don't know if this was just the version that I watched, I don't know, but it had like a classic horror feel to it. It had like this not grainy look, but it kind of had like an old look to it. And I know it's like 16, 17 years old, but even back in those days, I feel like movies looked more modern than this one.
Yeah.
This one had kind of a classic horror feel to it, the way it looked, some of the music as well.
Yeah.
It gave it that,
I can
that
definitely
feeling.
see that.
And the zombies were cool. I like the zombies. They looked really cool.
Yeah.
The acting was pretty good.
For most of the characters, yeah.
Yeah. I would say it's very suspenseful. I think it's hard to make a good zombie movie. 'Cause usually they're kind of straightforward, and which this one is, but there's not a lot you can do with it. You have to make the zombies cool. You have to make the scenes tense, and you have to make the action good. And this has all of that.
Yeah.
So I give Snyder and Gunn some props there for coming up with a good formula for this. I liked the Down with the Sickness jazz version.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of cool.
Entertaining version for sure.
When it started, he was like, ooh, ah, ah, ah.
Yeah.
I'm like,
it's like, where are you going with
what
this?
What is this? So that was funny. I like the dog. I like the dog. I thought it was cool when they sent the dog to go across the street with the food. I thought that was so cool.
So I realized that they don't attack dogs.
Yeah.
Apparently zombies even have morals.
Right, yeah. They don't need the dog. So yeah, I don't know why. I like the dog though. I think I like the dog because the dog didn't die. Usually when dogs are in movies like this, they're just going to die.
Yeah.
And so I was worried that was going to happen. And it didn't. So
they're just there for like the emotion of the actual animals dying.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like the dog. And yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to stretch for some negatives because I really like this. Zombieland I like, but this one I would watch 20 times before I'd watch Zombieland. This one's kind of up there with like, I mean, I don't know if The Crazies, if that counts as a zombie movie. It's kind of a zombie movie.
Yeah.
but this one's up there with that, and I might even say I like this more.
Mm-hmm. That one's also a remake.
That's true. That's true.
So yeah, I like that one too a lot. But yeah,
right.
it's like I said, it's definitely one of my favorite like remakes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this one's good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's try to find some negatives here.
All right. So I think my biggest negative that I have with this movie are, I kind of was talking about it earlier. I kind of just went on a tangent, just rambled on earlier before we even decided we were like talking about positives. Because usually you're like, okay, what are your positives?
Yeah.
I was just talking. And like I was saying, some of the characters are likable.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like the main security guard guy.
Yeah.
That was in the mall. I ended up liking him towards the end. He ends up sacrificing himself, which is really cool, which is out of character for him throughout the entire movie up until that point. But I didn't like him for most of it. I also I didn't like Mekhi Phifer. Like at all. I didn't dislike his character up until his wife dies.
Yeah.
And then his character just does a complete 180.
Yeah.
And it's just like, 'cause I don't. So I did read something about the differences, and when the old lady went up to talk to see if they were okay, did you just hear gunshots on your version?
Gunshots.
Like when they basically kill each other.
No.
Or do you actually see the bullets?
Yeah, no, it shows one by
scene?
one. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because it was saying in the difference was that in the director's cut, like you see the bullets like enter.
No, yeah,
enter her.
I saw him and her shooting back and forth.
Okay.
And the bullets, like the casings falling one by one.
Yeah.
Like in slow
so
motion.
Dramatically.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely saw the gunfight.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Yeah, for some reason it didn't say that on there. I was like, why would you leave that part out? But whatever. You just hear gunshots going off and like, so I didn't like that scene because it's obvious that that's not your wife anymore, dude. Like, you know, you guys have been like fighting these zombies for a little while now, at least. Yeah. Like you've seen these zombies, and he even has her like handcuffed to the bed, and it's like she has her gun on her, and he's like, "You're going to kill my wife, or you're trying to take away my family?" I'm like, oh, really, dude? You don't have a family anymore. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's an emotional time. She just gave birth. And, you know, okay, so I get why it's a negative, and I'll kind of piggyback on that. This is so cliche for a zombie movie, TV show, whatever. There's always the pregnant lady or the family who can't let go or whatever. It's been done a million times.
It has been.
It's not surprising, but it's always like you can see it coming from a mile away.
Yeah, there's got to be a character like that, but it's just like your character. I don't know. It just like he wasn't really that likable of a character to begin with, but you just completely like ruined that character.
Yeah.
When I mean, what are you gonna do? Like you have her handcuffed to the bed, like for a reason. Obviously, she's going to attack you at some point. Like I don't know that whole part with him was just. I don't want to say out of the blue because obviously, you know, in situations like that, you know, there's bound to be at least one character that's like that.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't necessary to have.
Well, because there already was that too with the guy and his daughter.
Yeah.
The guy got bit. She didn't want her dad to die or whatever. So they already had that. So do we need to do this again with?
They had to find a way of killing off two other characters besides the wife. And then the baby, that was some bad CGI. That was some horrible CGI.
Yeah, I agree.
I will say that that's, as I'm trying to find negatives in that scene that I talked about, is that terribly like CGI done baby. I'm like, oh yeah, that's got to be up there too.
Yeah.
And then so the new group that has the daughter and the dad come by in that big truck, and they wheel in this woman who obviously was bitten.
Yeah.
I don't know what was going on with like what they were thinking at that point. Like, oh, I'll help her. I can help her. Like, no, she's already turning. Like, she's not dead yet, but you can. I don't know how many times she was bit. Like,
yeah, she looked pretty bad when they.
She was already. Yeah, she was like already turning. Like, she didn't change that much when she died and came back again.
Yeah,
like she was already turning. Like, it was just okay. You're letting in these zombies at this point.
Yeah.
And that was the whole thing with the security guard. Like, we don't know who's been bitten, so we don't trust you. And yet, this woman who has clearly been bitten several times is getting an okay to come in. It's like, okay.
It wasn't very
And nobody even knew her. Like, she wasn't related to anybody there. It could have been easy to just, I don't know, leave her wherever she was, I guess. Yeah. Sounds heartless, but I mean, she was a goner anyway at that point.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a negative. That was just a stupid move on their part to bring her there. I mean, it didn't really go anywhere. She doesn't end up biting anybody, but
it was a cool scene though when she died and then
came back, like, sat up in bed. Yeah,
that was cool.
Yeah, and she was pretty athletic for being a. I mean, she was a zombie at this point, but like she was like running and stuff. Okay, didn't know you had it in you. So, and the daughter was, she was kind of an idiot too.
With the dog?
With the dog, going after the dog. Like, come on.
Yeah, taking one of their vehicles, their trucks that they were trying to build as zombie proof. Yeah.
Yeah. And then she's one of them that ends up living at the end. She would never have survived.
Right.
If this was real.
Yeah.
And she's that dumb to go after the dog.
Well, she already lost her dad.
Obviously isn't getting bit. Like, he would have gotten bit, going in there. Yeah, she lost her dad and everything. She didn't really have anybody else left.
Yeah, she needs her dog.
But don't be an idiot about it. Yeah, I mean, that's about it, I think. It's just a couple of the characters, and that one CGI moment was probably the worst that I can think of. Like, it's a well done movie. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
quite a bit.
I really liked it. I liked it way more than I thought I would. And I had seen this before back when it came out. I just don't know if I really appreciated it because I didn't remember much of it except for it took place in a mall and Ving Rhames is in it. Mm-hmm. That's really all I could remember going into watching it this last time. Mm-hmm. And that they had like a neighbor that they were writing signs to back and forth. I do remember that.
The guy at the gun shop.
Yeah, I did remember that. But everything else was like watching it brand new. So my biggest negative is the Best Buy guy and the main character, the nurse.
You don't like either one of them?
No, I do like them individually. I don't like that this lady.
Like a couple.
Yeah, she just lost her husband.
I know.
And now she's like in love with this guy?
Yeah.
Come on, that's like, have some faith, Your husband just died.
I know. Yeah,
so,
that was.
I thought that was so unnecessary.
That's a very Hollywood thing to do.
Yeah, it's dumb.
There's got to be some sort of a love interest. I mean, you already had that love interest with the girl and the security guard. Like, you didn't need.
Yeah.
Like, they were kind of like I mean, I don't think they ever kissed, but like it was pretty clear that they liked each other.
Yeah.
You didn't need these two characters to do that.
It was just kind of thrown in there. Like, okay, I don't know. I thought it was so unnecessary. Like, they could, be friends. That's cool. Like, maybe she really liked him, but they didn't have to kiss and all that. It's like, no, get that out of here. We don't need that. So that would be my biggest negative. And it wasn't even like a real big part of the movie. It just really didn't need to be there.
No, it didn't.
So, but that's about it. You already mentioned the CGI baby, and that was obviously bad. Yeah, so
that was bad. I mean, I guess if it's hard to do a zombie movie, it's even harder to do a zombie baby. So
yeah. Just have the baby be born dead or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it didn't have to even. You didn't even have to show it.
Yeah,
like you could have. You could have heard it, like scream or whatever, like
a
zombie cry or whatever, and then shoot it. But you didn't have to show it.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I do have another kind of nitpicky thing. And it's not necessarily this movie, but just overall when it comes to horror, I'm kind of getting tired of zombies and like possessed people and scary stuff doing the same things. Like, they always do this like screeching scream, and it's just that's like the go-to. Like, let's try something else. And this movie is 16, 17 years old, so I don't blame this movie, but it's been done so much over the years where any sort of possession, demon, zombie, vampire, whatever it is, that's how they sound. And,
I mean, they really shouldn't even have any working vocal cords, right?
Yeah, there you go.
There shouldn't be any noise coming out of them whatsoever. It actually would make it scarier because you wouldn't hear it coming.
Right.
If it were coming up behind you and stuff, like running after you,
you
probably would hear like someone running behind you,
right?
But you wouldn't hear it, so it would just be right there. Like, it would add to the jump scares for sure. Not have these zombies make any noise that they really shouldn't be making in the first place.
So I'm just kind of tired of that go-to look and scream and all that. Just kind of over it. But yeah, so there you go.
Yeah, I understand that. Like, they do that on The Walking Dead, and that annoys me probably the most, because it won't. So with some jump scares in that show, you won't even hear the zombie come up or the walker come up until the character turns around and it's right there, and that's when it starts making that noise. Like, you weren't making that noise earlier. Like, why were you just waiting until he turned around, like when he's in your face to start like screaming or whatever? It's like, okay, so you have the capability of sneaking up on people.
It's not like they're like lions or something where they roar. I don't know, it's too much. It's supposed to be scary, and it kind of is, but it gets just overused to where it's not even scary. You have to be a little more sparing with that. With the screaming zombies. I mean, it would make it more scary to not even have that in it. I think so.
Saying. Like, it just it adds to. I mean, it would add to the jump scares, which jump scares do annoy me after a while. So it might add more to the cliche jump scare,
right?
Just to have like a character turn around and zombies right in your face, like, oh, okay, hi, without actually hearing it coming up behind you. But I will take a cliche jump scare over a cliche zombie scream. Because it just adds more tension, it adds more scares to the situation,
and you just never know when they're gonna pop up. So it can add to just the atmosphere of the movie. So so Resident Evil is gonna be coming out again with a show, right? It's gonna be a TV show, or is it gonna be a movie?
There's a movie, and I think they're also doing a like an anime show.
Oh, okay. Never mind with that. But the movie,
I might be kind of interested in that. But yeah,
the game, they are walking zombies, and they don't make these crazy screaming noises. So
yeah,
we'll see, because I know it's supposed to be a little more true to the video game.
It's supposed to be faithful. Yeah, it's supposed to be faithful to like the first 2 games, I think.
Yeah.
So
which are the best. So we'll see how
it goes.
Yeah, what they do with the zombies. Okay, you ready to grade it?
Yeah.
All right.
I think I am. I am going to give this one an 86.
Wow, I'm going 86.5.
Another point. Another half a point.
Yeah.
Oh man,
this is about as good as it gets for a zombie movie for me. And I wanted to put it in the 90s, but then I was like, no, I like a lot more movies more than this.
Yeah,
just because I'm not a huge zombie fan, so therefore it's not going to be up there in the 90s just because it's zombies. But when it comes to zombies, this is the top of the iceberg.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking that too. I know I talked about it a little while ago that, I think we both have been kind of giving quite a few movies like A's.
Yeah.
Since we've been doing this. And after a while, it kind of takes away from how good those really good movies are. If you're giving a lot of movies like really good scores.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to cut back a little bit on on the 90 pluses.
Yeah.
So that's really the only reason this wasn't like a 90 for me. I think an 86 is a really good score, because I have seen this movie probably at least 10 times. Since this last time, at least 10 times. Yeah. And I will watch it another 10, 20, 30, 40 more times because I really like this movie. Yeah. I won't watch it like all the time, but like maybe once or twice a year.
Yeah.
I'll definitely put it on. It's just a fun ride, and it's, for as far as zombies go, it is probably the best one out there.
Yeah.
I'm hoping Army of the Dead is going to be just as good, but we'll see.
Yeah. That one looks a little more action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least in that trailer. So.
Yeah. I mean, you got Batista in there, like.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, we'll see. I hope there is a lot of horror though to it, but yeah, we'll see.
I mean, you got like zombies that can dodge.
Yeah.
In that movie, so it's like, okay, that's pretty crazy. Let's see if the horror stands.
Yeah.
At least, maybe not as good as this one, but I'm hoping it's going to be close to or on par with this one.
Yeah, I'm hoping it'll be fun. So.
Yeah, if anything, just a fun movie.
Yeah. And
from that trailer, it does look like a fun movie.
It does.
So we'll see.
All right. Well, there you go. I think that was our first zombie movie review.
Yeah.
Right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go see us on Facebook at Scare Talk Podcast. We're on Instagram at Scare Talk. We're on Twitter at Scare Talk Pod. And this has been Scare Talk.
Sleep tight.
Don't let the rings bite.